No permissions, birth looked off, taking flight falling. Knows dissidence, balanced in dark and light.
You guys there? I'm sorry. Let's try this again. Connection was lost, a little bit of things, but anyways, what's up? This is Bright Light Crypto. Let's try this again. I'm having technical issues, but yeah, let's try this one more time.
No permissions, birth looked off, taking flight falling. Knows dissidence, balanced in dark and light. Steadying the agreeable index plight. Crypto tuning up, yup, keeping it right. Yup, the meme that's on the rise. Agreeable intense, one on a Pulsechain's pride. Opening those minds with all the positivity, marching in its time. Cadence in the grind, agree to disagree. Yup, that's all the time. Meet up hits it right. Freedom and prosperity, the destination and the flight. Lighting up Dad's farm, opposed to that nope rule. Firing up them charts, yeah, flying straight and true. Wink at the foes, cheer at the woes, yep, stack sats gliding through the low.
Standing in the shadows of change where the fees eat your dreams. Pulsechain rises, each burning crisis, lighting fires on the streams. No kings, no locks, just codes setting us free, unlocking legacies. Deposit PLS as the auctions ignite. P2X doubles down day into night. From auction house, bits of mine in the yield, compounding silently, reaping fortunes revealed. No tokens to chase, no rugs in the game. Redistributing ingenious mooning crypto games. Calling to the faithful. Oh, crypto can hear the pulse beats loud. True DeFi is here. Lift your head, hear the sound. Building belong, scaling in this blockchain embrace. 2x your role, 2x your mind. Claim your infinite space. Pulsechain about to come unbound. Crossing bridges.
What is up, guys? This is Bright Light Crypto. I know I had a little bit of technical issues in the beginning, but today we have a project, Trudefi.io, and things like that. I wanted to bring you, new projects launching on Pulsechain and whatnot. Maybe other places on other chains. Who knows? I know I haven't been streaming for a little bit, but I want to bring you something besides just market updates. Anyways, it is the holidays, so it might be a while for the next stream. I just want to get that out of the way in the intro. And with all that said, let's bring up Neil for T-Shares. We got Daniel, the founder of Trudefi, and then we got Hexecutioner. How we doing, guys? How we doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So I want to let my audience know that none of this is financial advice, of course, and all that, but TrueDefi.io seems like a very great project and whatnot. So if you could give a little introduction to what TrueDefi is. I know you can put in Pulse and kind of mine Pulse to 2 extra profits, to put it simply, or 2 extra Pulse, I should say. And that's like a 5-second rundown. But you guys could dive into it and go into it for me, that would be great while I show some of the chat. And yeah.
All right, sure. I guess I'll take it. So what True2x, what it is a DeFi service tool that utilizes the redistribution of service fees within the greater crypto space back to the users, providing them with a 2x return on their deposits. Very simple. It's a 4-step process. Users can deposit their Pulse into the smart contract. And then the next day, since we work on a 24-hour cycle, they can deploy the miners from those deposits that are generated. And then the following day, they can start earning dividends. And then at any time, they can leave with, at most, a 2x ROI on their investments. That's True2x in a nutshell.
Okay. I heard there's like a referral program.
Correct.
Kind of, so you could refer others and get like a bonus or other miners and whatnot. So can you tell me a little bit about that too? And then we could just go around the room and yeah.
Y'all want to take that one?
Sure. With the referral program for individuals, there's 2 different types. There's one for our partner program, and then there's ones for individuals. The referral program for individuals is going to run for 45 days. With that, you could give out your referral number that you get after you make it your first deposit, at least a minimum of 50,000 Pulse, which is like what is like $1 or $2 or something like that. And then you'll get your ID. When you get your ID that allocates you to the protocol, you'll get your referral link. You can shill that till your face goes blue for the next 45 days if you like. If anyone uses that referral link of yours, you'll get a 10% bonus in shares, and then a 5% bonus for using it in shares allocated to them in what we call a referral card. That could be pretty significant depending on the size of that deposit. Like I said, that'll go for 45 days. Some people, will even make multiple wallets and maybe even potentially refer themselves. It's not an edge case. We've literally spoken about it in public. You can do that if you like. But since it's coming to you in shares, when you decide to redeem that, it's going to be made into a miner, meaning so it's not just a 10% bonus and a 5% bonus by the time you're done, because it'll get doubled. So you'll end up getting a 20% bonus or a 10% bonus, or if altogether to yourself a 30% bonus based on the deposit that you made. It's not a sacrifice type of situation. Gotten that question, I wanted to clarify that. It's not like you're getting any less because somebody used it. It comes to you as a bonus in shares, which is represented in Pulse. So it's not going to take away from your initial deposit at all. It'll be an addition to. And you can redeem that whenever you like. Whenever. I'd like to just kind of leave that there as far as the individuals for now. And if we get, might get into the integration amplifier for the partners. And then we can go back into what the referral system would be for them. I think that would make it less confusing, or
maybe I should have asked the referral system after the integration amplifier stuff. But yeah, so basically you stake your Pulse and then you kind of mine it and whatnot, and the referral system works in the background, and then you 2x your Pulse and you can exit that way. But the integration amplifier will probably explain more. So whoever wants to go over that, I'm down.
Let's circle in carefully to all these moving parts. But yeah,
Okay.
True2x is a product of Trudefi, and what it basically does, exactly what Neil just said, it is a redistribution service, meaning we can fulfill 2x unconditionally to users, to every individual who puts PLS into the system. and at the same time, we have a business product, a partner product that is a new service that is coming to crypto in general, not only on Pulsechain, but it's for every single token community that we are providing a cash flow function if we begin to collaborate. This is what we can get later on into. That is the integration amplifier. And the whole thing is supported by us generating revenues outside of the platform, where we have daily increasing investment volume and a daily increasing yield volume that we are generating, and why we can satisfy both 2x expectations of users and a constant stream of dividend distribution, or making it available to claim for communities. So, of course, there are many intricacies, there are many opportunities for the basic user who comes and doesn't want to strategize a lot because they have it, that they do other things in life. It's a set and forget protocol. Put your PLS in, get your 2x out. And you can gradually optimize this by using a referral link, spreading your referral link, spreading a referral ID, using the or representing a community, and creating a cash flow function for your token community. You can optimize it by various options like compounding. Um, yeah, there are many options, but the best is to discuss this one-on-one to find out in our chat what is your need, and then we can respond best to you, whatever you want, whatever you need, whatever your time frame is, whatever your conditions are in life.
So you could I could deposit Pulse, and then I think you have to wait like 24 hours for the deploy your miner, as far as I understand it, and then you could set certain wallets to compound and certain wallets to manually do it, and then you exit once it hits your 2x in your Pulse chain, because you deposit just Pulse chain, no stables, no other tokens, no token behind this platform at all, which is, yeah, I think it's pretty great. But
Yes,
and then you could refer from your address with your other referral to your next address, and so on and so forth, and then give it to your friends and family or whoever else likes this kind of stuff, and basically build the ecosystem and mine more Pulse chain and get your 2x's on.
Yeah, whoever likes this kind of stuff, whoever likes to double their money, right?
Yeah.
Whoever likes to double their money. The question is, do people believe it or not? If you explain why it works, it becomes complicated. If you work on the reputation of the platform, of the people, if you can showcase that very serious people such as you and others are on our platform and in our environment, you're always, that saying that you measure someone's value on the friends they have, on the 5 best friends they have, right? And this is the same valid. That's valid also in crypto. If you have serious people around you, then you will be taken serious, and that is thankfully the case. We were working on this to surround ourselves with very capable, serious, and good names, and so people should measure it on the names that are involved with us, and on Trudefi or True2x, instead of comparing a 2x announcement or promise with what they know, because there is no blueprint. There is not one single case in the history of crypto or monetary systems where that promise was held. We found the tweak. It is an invention. And yes, you're right. The single most risk to valuation is to introduce your own platform token. That's why we did not introduce a platform token, such as and many more features. So don't believe that you know what it is until you understand what it is.
Yeah. I like the fact that it goes with like, for instance, the layer one of Pulsechain. Like, if this ever launched on like Ethereum, it would probably use Ethereum instead of like its own token. If it went over to Base, it would probably use Ethereum. If it went over to Solana, for instance, I don't know if it would, but these are all just examples. It would probably use Solana to where you can gain yield in 2x your Solana or your PulseX or your Pulsechain, whatever layer one, which gives it more of a like a holding capability and people wanting to use the platform because they like their layer one assets, right? As long as they don't come in and then just jump off their layer one asset profits, which everybody has the right to, that's why they're using it and whatnot. But if they held that, it would help the layer one asset on those chains and probably price performance or even drive the success of a chain with a project like this, I think. So it, it could garner some momentum, and especially like on Pulse Chain or any layer one at this point, with all the prices so low and whatnot, people might be a little but if they see the project um, working and the founders are good, the audits are in, which I believe your platform does have audits, that is a very important part, which probably should be my next question. But once they see the success of that platform, more and more people will want to come in and actually use the product to help whatever chain it's on. So,
If you allow, I would like to get back quickly to the other point before passing the word. Uh, you said people are a little bit disturbed by the prices at this point in time. Um, well, people have a choice. They can either put their head in the sand and accept the prices, and they're gonna become the frog in the heating water and sitting there and sitting it out and sitting it out and sitting it out and stay passive, and they look at why they can do something or why they cannot do something. So people can analyze all day long. Meanwhile, the market does what the market does. Either it goes up or it goes down. And right now, people are sitting it out, and they can sit it out, or they become proactive. They can start doing crypto again. On Pulsechain, we do Pulsechain, right? On Pulsechain, we do Pulse, we do Richard Hart, but many of us stopped doing crypto. And this is what we are appealing to do, that users do again. Do crypto. This is why you came here. That's why you found here in the first place. Doing crypto in this particular, in the context of True2X, get your Pulse chain or a PLS. It's very low in price. You get it on discount. Put it into the game. Double it. If the price goes lower down, even lower, even if it's halves, you have a built-in stop loss with True2X. So you double the amount. Good. If the price goes up, nobody needs to talk to tell you what that means, right? So if the price goes up, it goes up. You have a double on the double. If you, people, that's my biggest appeal to everyone. Start doing crypto again. Stop philosophizing about so many things that have been put in the world. What you should talk about. You should talk about the whole day what you can do with your crypto. Which chain, which protocols, risk factors, evaluation, take action. This is what you can do to progress. This is why you initially came here to crypto. Then you found Pulsechain. Now do crypto again. That's basically the core message I want to share.
on that point, like, yeah, there is a lot of crypto out there that are like Wall Street in it. Like, they just want to come in, extract value, and just leave and take their profits and just go. The true like crypto thing was like there was no stable coins. There was none of that. Like, you used your ETH, you held your ETH. Yeah, you sent it to the exchange or whatnot if you wanted to sell or buy or whatever. You used the exchanges, but like there was a reason why you got ETH. So you didn't get locked out of your bank accounts. You know what I mean? So you had your value, you had your store of value, things like that. And a lot of people these days, especially on crypto right now, I think are all about Wall Street's got to save us, when really we need to get back to those crypto roots, like you're talking about. Doing crypto like you should be doing crypto, and True DeFi is a great start for a lot of people. And if they could wrap their head around True DeFi, they could wrap their head around a lot of other products on any chain, you know. And with that said, yeah, I doubt you guys have any screen share right now, because you guys are launching on December 19th, right? This
Correct.
Friday. And since they don't, I mean, they have a website I could share or whatnot. Let me see if I can bring that up. Yeah, screen share window. Let me type this in. True. I should have prepared this more. TrueDefi.io. I believe you guys can do this too if you guys got anything you want to show. But there it is. Let's bring that up. This is the website, TrueDefi.io, and I'm trying to customize this so we can get our. There we go. All right. TrueDefi.io. We got a nice looking website. You know what I mean? Not many people spend too much on that. They just use AI these days, right? Just kidding.
Well, not us. At least not Daniel. That's about a year and a half in the making you're looking at.
Yeah. I like the human touch a lot more. I really do. You know what I mean?
You know what we joke about? That the only thing that people really going to care about is that green button on there. after all the work. But, you know, it is what it is.
Partner integration amplifier. You guys have an integration amplifier with a partner with Emit, another partner. God, what are your partners right now? Your community partner thing.
You can go down to referral page lower part.
On the referral page?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Just go fast down to after the fault line. At the lower part, there are a bunch of partners. These are not all partners that are listed, but a few that make graphically sense to be presented here.
True DeFi founders.
He's just trying to soak it in as he's going through.
Did I pass it?
Nope, there it is.
There it is. All right, there we go. Cool.
And
so
then
we have
more as you keep going down too. It's not just that line of 5 as you scroll down. As you get through those, there'll be more as you go down.
So a small selection of token communities that receive cash flow. So as this referral system, let's explain that a little bit. How do we get these communities to get a little bit of cash flow through True DeFi?
You guys want to take that?
Sure, I'll take it. So with the integration amplifier, what we've done is we've set up a wallet on behalf of the community that runs it runs for the community, and it's an automated wallet in the contract. And so say Tetra, for instance, the Tetra community here, it will have a wallet associated with it. And every time someone makes a deposit and they use the Tetra referral link or partner ID link, they will Tetra will receive for the first 45 days a 10% bonus of all the deposits as true shares. And what that does is it slowly builds up over time. And those shares then go into that wallet, and they act as those shares convert to miners. Those miners go into the system like any other user. And as they go through the system, they reach a 1.5x or 75%. and they auto compound. And the remaining difference, 0.5x or 25% of profit, goes to purchase Tetra tokens, for instance, from the market and deposits in the claim contract. And then, say every week, we take a snapshot and of all the Tetra holders, and no matter who you are, if you own Tetra, whether you interact with True2x or not, it doesn't matter. You can go to the claim, the UI, and click on the claim button and collect your proportional share of the entire holder share of Tetra tokens that are available. It's that simple. We market by the tokens, we deposit them in a contract, and your holder share percentage is what you can claim from that contract. And so, if you want more tokens of whatever community you hear, or you may you may own tokens of all these communities, and you may every week claim some of all of them, whatever people's positions are. The integration amplifier basically provides a steady cash flow of buys to each one of our partner communities, providing them value outside of their ecosystem, costing them nothing. There's nothing they have to give up. There's no LP. There's no tokens they have to give us or anything like that. It's all from the referral partner IDs that their participants utilize when they make deposits. That's where all the value comes from. And these wallets that are managed auto compound forever. So the first iteration, when it goes through a 2x, it will purchase a set amount. The next time, it'll purchase even more for that same amount of economic energy because auto compounds at a 75% rate. And this process continues over and over and over again, increasing the buy pressure and cash flow to each of our partner projects.
Yeah, the more participation from the community, the faster that'll grow. So I think that communities will start to understand that and pick up on that. I think the cool thing too is as people see that the claim contract is when it becomes active, when we activate it. So there will already be tokens claimable when we activate it. So you may, be focused right on your community. Let's say Tetra, right? You're like, I'm going to go claim my Tetra tokens, and you come in there and you go, oh my gosh, I could not just Tetra, but I get to claim. I'm also a holder of this and this and this and this. So it could magnify your reality when you go in there and you're like, oh, I can claim a lot. Now you're going to maybe potentially get this thought in your head. How much do I get to claim? Right? What is my portion that I get to claim? Well, as we make a deposit, when we buy and we go deposit into that claim contract, we'll take that snapshot of let's say it's the holders list that can come and claim. Right? Or if you have it on the staking contract, so the stakers of that particular community gets to come. And they go, well, if I'm a bigger holder the next week, then I'll get a bigger claim. Well, and then the claim that I just got made me a bigger holder too. So it'll incentivize these community members to hold even more than what they had just so they can come in and claim too, and participate with their own community referral link, which will inevitably make our buys even bigger the next time. So your claim will have even more tokens. Now imagine not everybody knows in the community. And that would be nice, right? That 100% of everyone in your community knows all things. It just doesn't always calculably happen. So let's say not everybody comes and claims. Well, there's a bunch of tokens that are left over. What happens? They get rolled over to the next week. And then the next week. And then the next week. So potentially you'll have a bigger claim just because of those types of things. And on top of it, a lot of those tokens, I don't want to say it's like a burn, but they'll just stay there. They're not going to be in circulation anymore. So it's less buy pressure, but by just of a mechanic that just happens to be this way. So you want to get into the game theory stuff, and we're only just talking about this part here. There's so much you could do. You could have a very YouTube stream.
The integration amplifier does a lot of things. First, it brings a tool to a constant, continuously working tool to crypto. It is a new tokenomics function that people can plan with. Everyone who wants to set up a token doesn't need to come with hypercalabia 26 dimensions, burn and buy and staking reflection, and which they can be complementary, useful applications. Yes, okay, they're good, but none of them drives value. The actual value that is driven to users is fresh funds from outside of their ecosystem, not circle for taxation, but funds that are coming from outside, fresh turnover, and gains are being distributed to your stakeholders. That's the moment where you have shareholders and not customers anymore. Otherwise, it's like buy my starter set philosophy. If a token has only tokens and no dividends from outside, that's the number one. Number two, what it means for us is we have through the managed partner wallets, we have permanently, daily, a high volume that is going back into through the auto compounding until 1.5x. We have a high volume being deposited in our um, auction house. So, what is the challenge of every protocol? Volume, volume, volume. So, we create volume by auto compounding. And two is what is the other big challenge of platforms? Marketing. Hey, when marketing, we all know that line, right? When marketing. So, excuse me, when marketing, the moment that our partners understand that they can receive free cash flow to all their holders, that means can make themselves more interesting versus their competitors by offering, hey, if you become a holder of my XY token, then you will also receive dividends. How much? It's up to them. They do our marketing, please. They do the marketing, and our job here in that group is reaching out, taking the phone, talking with community leaders and or founders. So that is our job. Their job is to trigger it down to the community and or into the width, not down, but to the width to their community. And this is where new users coming to us. The dividends grow, the miners grow because whatever is in there in those partner miners is never being taken out again. Never ever. It just stays in there and gets bigger and is out of compounding every day. Creates more volume. Our platform becomes more creative, attractive. They have a reason more to promote, possibly considering us to their users, and all of their users unconditionally can claim weekly free dividends. And that is how the circle actually closes.
That's really cool because like you can onboard somebody that has no interest in any of these tokens and they can become holders, and then the price of those tokens can rise and everybody benefits. Like the communities benefit, the chain benefits, the user benefits, and all you did was spread the word in a sense. And that is good marketing right there. I think it's natural. It's more word of mouth. Instead of paying for ads and trying to get so many views and whatnot. If something works, it's gonna keep working. You know what I mean? Instead of just go off by the wayside and just be another meme coin. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you think about it for the user's perspective, he's a community member, whatever community, loves his community, maybe he's a decent sized holder, owns 1-2%. As they participate, they get, a kind of a triple bonus. They get the 2x from using the protocol. They get a 5% bonus, which could double to 10, and they get a buy on the token they're holding, a lot of, and they can go claim it. So they win all the way around. And so for them to be very greedy or selfish benefits themselves in 3 different ways, as well as all the rest of their community members as well. So nobody gets hurt, because what we developed here in this whole system with True 2X, we've got rid of the whole PvP issue that's persistent in most DeFi and crypto. Because typically we're all competing against each other with trades getting in early and anybody else's exit liquidity, or I come in now, then I refer you, then you buy my bag and you pay me and stuff like that. No, we got rid of all that. We don't have any of that stuff because that was always the problem in the past with all these protocols that if you're ever familiar with, that we've got rid of all the negative externalities that existed. Because we don't have a token we're trying to support and price, we are able, that allows us to take the value in yield generation and spread it evenly and equitably amongst all participants. So everybody who participates is and will, and we can guarantee, get a 2x. And the protocols use the integration amplifier and stuff and partner with us, they get their cash flow. The users get their 2x plus a bonus, and then everybody wins. So you don't have to worry about, now only thing you have with if you have somebody who's amongst different groups or different token communities, they might be kind of split. Well, that's up to each community then to say, hey, we want to rally our troops because we want our community to be number one spot in TrueDefi's integration amplifier, and let the games begin. But everybody's still going to benefit because if they're competing for the number one spot, even though they're doing so, they're all still basically pushing more volume and basically accelerating their ability to achieve a 2x.
All right. So when you're over on this website here, I know there's a launch button at the top or whatever, but if you wanted to join being a part of one of these communities, you'd have to come down here and launch with one of these buttons on this web page, right? On the homepage, or you could use it in the app too and just put in your code or whatever.
Yes. There's a little frame below that is launch 2x. If you want to claim, it brings you there, but you can go on the next button below. Scroll a centimeter down. Yeah, there. Go with
right here.
That basically puts the Emmet partner link into the browser. It will be cached. However, once you're there and you want to do on the UI with the link of Emmet, you can set actually your community in the backend. There is a function visible on the UI, and you can set your community in the backend, meaning that every compound that is being done is always prioritized that first deposit of the day, meaning the compound which happens right after the day begins. The system compounds for you. If you do compound, if you have set your system to compounding, then it will automatically credit it for Emmet. And since we cannot change a referrer during one accounting cycle of 24 hours, every other deposit that was being done with this wallet will count toward Emmet or the community that you have chosen.
So you could even choose different communities and different wallets and whatnot and still refer yourself to each of those wallets in a sense.
No.
And you can
communities and referral bonus, they are going on the same via the same track basically. That is the same thing. Just referral link sounds, it sounds applicable for you and me. But when we're talking about community link, we need to decorate this a little bit and call it premium allocation and community benefit and all of that. At the end of the day, it is the referral bonus. While the referral link and the referral bonus for individuals ends after 45 days, we keep it alive with lower amounts after 45 days ad infinitum for partners. So it's you cannot refer to yourself and then at the same time choosing a community. The community would always overwrite your individual referral link.
Okay. And I know I briefly touched on audits or whatnot, but can you guys briefly go over what audits you guys got? Because I know that's very important in crypto, and I know you guys pretty much built this from the ground up and whatnot for I think it took you guys 2 years or whatnot. You can correct me on that, but that's taking some long time just to be building in the background and not making too much noise until you guys were testing and getting ready for part of the testing, marketing, kind of get the word out. And then, yeah, I saw you guys on a bunch of streams. But yeah, audits.
Yeah, yeah. During our development process, we had 2 external audits done in the system, and that gave us some inside information, helped tighten up our security and stuff like that we needed to look at. After that, though, because of the technology we developed, we quickly realized that we were inventing something brand new as we developed the code. Because of that, it became very proprietary. And after those 2 audits, we realized real quickly that there's no way that we could trust or even ensure that the integrity of the code could be maintained by letting it out once it was finished to any more external audits. It was impossible. There's a very persistent, I don't know, I guess a black market coding sharing going on that exists in crypto. People don't realize, and because this technology is brand new, and we spent a lot of time developing it, we're not comfortable letting this technology and this our code out just to anybody, because we don't know whose cousin's sitting in there in the background going to give it to his buddy, and the next thing we know, it ends up in Solana. So if any auditor company wants to put up about $200 million in an escrow account, as a surety bond against the audit, they're welcome to it. But most of them won't do it because they're not going to take that kind of risk either. So at the end of the day, we will publish part of the code when we launch. There's no problem. But the main proprietary intellectual property will not be published because it's what it is. And then people ask us, well, why? Because it's our code. Nobody asked Steve Jobs to give away his secrets, or Bill Gates, or anybody else, and Google, whoever, to give away their secrets. Why would we? This is business. You don't give away your secrets. I mean, look at what happened to Uniswap. They made their code public. And next thing you know, you have PancakeSwap and every other swap known to man. They all copied them, and they took away their market share. So it'd be very foolish and unwise of us on the business sense to do so. So no, we're not going to do that. And if that's a deal breaker for people, well, we're sorry. But our code and our intellectual property, our 2 years of time and effort and sweat and blood, and no sacrifice, by the way. Not $1 came from anybody else. This is all self-funded. So this is something we've spent our time doing, and we're all docs. We're all here in front of everybody right now talking about it. So, and we've been in the community a long time. And Daniel's already developed another product called FairHex that's been successful. And Hexecution's been around forever. Everybody knows him and respects him. So, if people want to use us, this, and there's no way also to make what we built immutable either. It's an impossibility, just because of the technology behind it and how it works. If you want immutability, go buy you some Hex. That's what I tell people, because that's the way it is. But at some point in time, there's got to be some trust involved when you deal with some crypto projects. If you don't think that, then ask yourself why you're here, because every one of us trusted somebody, i.e. Richard Hart, to give a bunch of money to sacrifice for this chain, for the DEX, for ProveX, and whatever else. So that's where we stand on that.
Well, I think I just saw in one of the chats with Solid X, like he has his Xgame or whatnot, and I think his code's public. I don't know. Don't quote me on anything, but or think it's whatever. I think now there's like an Xgame kind of thing over on Solana now, and it's totally different UI, totally different looking game, but all of a sudden a new game like that on Solana just pops up out of nowhere. And it has the same kind of, feel and mechanics to it. And it's just like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? So there is positive aspects to keeping that code private, which is very well good. So, and if it is a deal breaker, hey, no risk, no reward. And yeah, DeFi is supposed to be trustless, but, always got to trust somebody or some middleman or some DEX or some smart contract to work in order to do DeFi correctly. So,
look, at the end of the day, people got to realize somebody's going to own the server and pay the fees and all for all this stuff to work. It's that simple. I
Even
don't care how much people want to tout Web3 and the technology. At the end of the day, most Web3 products have Web2 interactions. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna pay the server fee. I mean, you don't think Pulsechain sits on the server somewhere?
Hex too.
Hex?
I know for a fact that Richard has servers that are not static, that he can see all the data that comes in. I know that because Alex from Hedron said, there's the cow. Sorry. Alex from Hedron kind of exposed that, how he set up his servers so that they are static, so you can't see any of that data. Like he used it as a promotional thing, right? So, I mean, every time you go to hit that button on your wallet to connect that DApp, it's like a hope and a prayer. You don't know until you know, right? So you got to have some sort of trust.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're
At
muted,
the end
Daniel.
of the day, we have, this is all the male approach to things: explosive, 2x, bigger, faster. And normally, if we want to pursue this, because it's it's a competitive market. If we want to drive this, then imagine you're setting yourself physically in one of Elon's or someone else's rocket ships, and you're sitting in a little capsule up there, right? So you have this rocket ship full of fuel, explosive. You're sitting up there. You don't want to be immutable. you still want to have the opportunity to steer left and right. You want to have the opportunity to press a button that makes the entire journey for you and the passenger safe, right? So that's why it is necessary that we stay to a certain degree under control. There is no access to funds, however. We can flush, we can, for example, support flushes to users in case something, to give you some insights, in case something is getting stuck, we can support that user funds get flushed toward them, but we have no access to funds itself. That is what users want to know. If we can do anything with the funds, no, they're inside the contract. All we can support where we have an extra button is if something gets stuck on one or user or another, to flush it. We never needed it, but in case it's needed, it's there.
You guys have been very responsive with the support and stuff in the Telegram chat, which is, I mean, you've been in there for hours just on the audio and waiting for people to come in and being like one-on-one with them with strategies and whatnot. I think that is very good. And I mean, like, you're going to be here to stick around and stuff like that. So that is another part of it, to build that trust and because if there's an issue, you can only do so much. And yeah, their stuff is safe, but you, like, if they screwed up something or user error or whatever, they can always go back to that Telegram and talk to you guys one-on-one, especially. And you guys have taken that time during the tests and the testing phase. I was watching and stuff like that. It's been pretty amazing, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted you guys to come on, and promote your project a little bit on the crypto, whatever, the bright light crypto stuff. But yeah, is there anything that I've missed before I go through this insanely long chat, or just a couple things? I think we pretty much covered it all, but I might have missed something.
Well, the only thing we didn't discuss was the concept of compounding. And that was about it. And why someone would want to compound and stuff like that. And basically, the compounding function is optional. Nobody has to do it. But it exists for those who wish to take their dividends they're earning and put them to work to earn more dividends. It's that simple. Same principles, compound interest. And so mechanically, and technically when somebody does make a compound, those dividends then turn into a brand new deposit, and they have to deploy them the next day. That's what compounding does. They can do this in a manual way, or they can do it in an automated way through an auto compound function. So there are strategies for how to do this and why would you want to do this in the system. And we could talk about that. People come to chat and ask us questions. and we can kind of help them tailor a plan for themselves. I've done videos on it myself, how to think about this, how to have what kind of time horizon you want to use when you want to think about compounding, especially when we launch on Friday. People who might not who want to take a quick gain, they shouldn't compound because your dividends will be tied up. But if you're thinking long term and you want to take this day one, you want to take that into the future, well, then you want to compound and use those funds as opportunity to really exponentially grow your pulse count over time. So if you're looking at next year as an exit strategy, let's say, well, compounding is the way to go. You'll have way more pulse at the end of the year than you would if you didn't.
All right. Well, compounding needs to be discussed more and more and more, and not because our protocol will only sustain if people compound. No, that's why we do this ourselves. So it's an option for users. It is. I, I want to answer to the question or to the point made in the chat, and at the same time to the point of compounding, because very oftentimes there are protocols. Recently, a couple of months ago, there was a protocol that announced 3.69 or whatever X factor, and then please compound. Please, if you compound, then no, do what you want, user. You can compound if it fits your strategy. Don't compound if it doesn't fit your strategy, or if you don't understand it, no problem. If it's too complicated, or if you just don't have the time to do it because you have better things to do in life, right? Maybe you just want to park your PLS for more than in your wallet. And that is, so it's not a requirement for the platform to sustain or to become sustainable if users compound. We compound ourselves, and the target is that user participation, organic user participation, meaning deposits from user wallets or compounds from user existing dividends, is less than 10% of all the activities that happen on the platform. Maybe that gives a little idea about the importance for us if you compound or not. For us, it's only important that you are happy, that you're satisfied, that everything works, and that you have a tool more, a gas station for funds, basically. And why? The question is, how long will it take exactly to 2x? I'm not trying to wait a year. And how is this sustainable if capital stops coming in after week one? Good point. Theoretically, we don't need to open it for the public. Theoretically, we do one single big deposit out of our pockets. If this would be a Rackham project, nobody needs even to know about it. It puts a $50 million in or $20 million, and that's it. And the public does not need to participate. So the principle is, for you, pretty deep. The principle is that from every day's deposit volume, a part, 14%, is being used and added to an existing investment wallet where we are generating yield outside the protocol. That yield, what comes back, is being distributed to all existing miners. That helps, not only helps, that grows proportionally, because tomorrow is another deposit volume. And after tomorrow, another. And we have 24-hour accounting cycles. And with each and every $100,000 that comes in, 14,000 will be added to the yield production. So every day there's more yield coming back on balance. So sometimes we go for a lower APR by supporting, for example, validators, or a higher APR when we are supporting when we are investing into farms, for example. So it will average out, but on balance, it will be a daily higher return of yield. We have, right from the beginning, a very high percentage of own system miners. You have the right question, why should it be sustainable? But there are many answers to it that would break the frame of this stream. But system miners that make sure, and partner miners that make sure we have deposit volume. Plus, we have miners that are only running until a 1x. 1x means zero profit. They're just auto compounding in a zero-sum game. They're just taking shares in the pool and only need to be satisfied until a 1x, so they don't cost anything, they don't take anything. At the end, you have a lower average obligation toward everyone else, and that's why we don't have to meet a 2x in average for everyone, but a much lower average. The target is somewhat around 1.2, 1.3x in the future.
She also, I think it's a she, but she also asks, if you compound, that's a plus for the protocol. So what volume do you expect over 50 million? I think that would depend on the community and who uses the protocol with volume. So they could probably just guesstimate of kind of what came in through the tests and through interest, how much volume. Like,
Well, we have daily caps on things. So there's a 1 billion cap of Pulse per wallet per deposit, okay? Daily. And we have a global cap. Each day will cap out at a maximum of 25 billion Pulse in total deposits. And so this 50 million is a drop in a bucket compared to that, if you think about it. And I know for a fact we'll blow that out of the water, 50 million.
I don't know if they were talking about 50 million Pulse or $50 million.
Well, we don't know. Look, the Pulse is Pulse, but no, 25 billion Pulses are daily cap. So whatever 25 billion Pulse is times today's price is whatever, $250,000, $300,000, whatever it is. That just is what it is. But we chose the number because of the math behind it. And that number is sustainable with the math that supports it with what Daniel just said about all the system miners and stuff like that. There's a reason for these numbers. They're not arbitrary. They're thought through, and they've been mapped out and analyzed and shown to be what is sustainable. And then we have the ability to raise the cap if this situation is warranted for not just the internal system miners, because they get bigger and bigger every day, right? As well as the SRE deposits from the outside gets bigger and bigger every day. And so there's a need to raise the cap. It can be raised to allow everybody to participate and enjoy their 2x.
I want to ask you, Neil, can you please get the chart, that sustainability chart? Bright light. Would you allow us for 3 minutes to extend this chat here?
Yeah.
And to respond to Pretty D. I get exactly where Pretty D is coming from, which is cool, which is a conversation that many devs have. I had this conversation with many allies that I have for 5, 6, 7 years in the space, and I know they were running a lot of simulations last year. Very good names. And if you know Wales Candy, then you probably also know the same guys that I know. Pretty deep. So let's have this conversation quickly. External yield, you can see it in the chart down there. It's actually, that is over proportional. That is the only position which is not close to realistic. This is just extended in its size and dimension at this point in time to make it recognizable for simplicity reasons. We have the integration amplifiers. These are basically the partner referral bonuses that you can see. They are daily compounding and also being added to, not only by organic users, but also by our own marketing wallets, etc. So we also have to, we are also playing a role. Next is the system miners. System miners going until 1.0x. Also, to system miners belong all the miners that we are buying back from the same budget. And this graph is supposed to show one thing, that whatever the deposit volume on any day X is on the left side of the chart, let's say day 1, in average 3 to 5 weeks later, And this is how we set it up. This is a computation we did over and over and found a sweet spot which works in every single volume constellation. The system minus the partner minus together with the external yield substitute or exceed the deposit volume, the organic deposit volume of users 3 weeks prior. Whatever happens 3 weeks ago, in 3 weeks from then on, our system miners and platform managed miners have to, and that was a condition, have to circular organic user volume. So your concern is absolutely justified if we are looking at anything that was there on the market. There is a reason why we four top OGs, who saw it all, including Wales Candy, including B2X, including all the other attempts. We were working on how can we isolate all risk factors, how can we determine what is a risk factor, how can we turn it either into the opposite as a benefit or at least neutralize it if we cannot make it to as a benefit. So Aikido on steroids in crypto. Basically, use the power of the negative to turn it around against it and to neutralize it or to make it even a benefit. And this is how you can actually describe True 2x. No no platform token, no dependency on users. And we are trying to bring this is a logic effect, a result, to bring down the user participation to below 10% of the total volume. And that's why the volume cannot dry up, because we control the volume. It's an in-house game. It's an in-house game. And users can participate. At the beginning, yes, users play an essential and crucial role to build up the volume. But when I'm saying beginning, that means a month, 2 months. Everything that's beyond it, it's a nice to have, but not a must. And the rest, maybe we can discuss in our chat. You're welcome. Seems you have a very good insight. Appreciate.
Another thing that will happen too is, let's say, for instance, organic users just disappear one day for whatever reason. Let's pretend that one day they all stop. All those who stop will get their 2x eventually, and the system will autonomously run by itself. The 1x miners will run. The partner program integration amplifier miners will run. They will get their 2x. And the SRE will continue to earn yield outside and deposit into the system perpetually. So we could then have a situation in the future where zero user participation is even needed, and the system runs, and it basically becomes a cash flow generation tool for the integration amplifier partners.
And that would make the 2x's just fly really fast at that point.
All right, am I back?
We hijacked the stream.
I don't know what happened, man. I was connected. It did that earlier today too, so I don't know. Maybe it's when I screen share or something, it's just too much for my little. I have good internet, but I don't know why I did that.
Turn Dex screener off. Probably using too many assets.
Possibly. I'm only really using this one screen right now, but I'm a ways away from the router anyways. But she said thank you for explaining further. I hope, on that note, with all the yield and stuff like that, I hope this oh my god, this is gonna tick me off.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But anyway, I hope it drives more yield or volume to the chain. You know what I mean? It attracts more users, and that will be a very positive impact for the platform if it does that, and also solve the volume question.
Well, there's something that what we've built. It has a side effect for Pulsechain, one thing that will happen with what we do when we run through our processes internally, and we run our our daily computations, is we will increase the volume by a lot because all the compounding, everything goes on with all the system. So it means every validator is going to get a boost every day because of us. That's one thing. Secondly, as we move through with our SRE, every day's deposits and are going to go to be deposited to SRE. Those funds exist for one purpose only, and that is to generate yield. They're not meant to be sold or anything like that, or traded or arbitrage or anything like that, or anything silly. They're designed to earn yield. They'll be deposited somewhere. One of the places will be deposited will be VPLS through Vouch, right? And so we will act as a high depositor into the Vouch system, and then supporting their validator holdings, as well as earning the yield from it. And what will happen as a result is we will end up with taking a lot of TVL and locking it away into the systems in various DeFi protocols on the chain. Meaning that Pulse is not going to be sold. It's going to be put to work, earning yield. So we'll benefit the chain through volume as well as TVL, and hopefully we will be a boost and a boon to the entire Pulse chain network as we move forward and as people participate in True2X.
There we go.
Yep. Yeah. And don't forget, the partner program is a tokenomics function. It is not an option. It is not a typical collaboration between two platforms or something. That is a repeatable process that every token community should consider, look into. Doesn't matter if it's on Solana, if it's a meme token, or even a staking token, maybe a very good tokenomics token already, but still they can improve. They can put one more layer on top of it. You don't need the founder. You can do it as a community leader. And this is basically where we believe I'm in conversations with the guys from BSC and Solana and Ethereum. Some of them already consider it, and they will will inform their community about it. And this is how volume will come to Pulsechain. Maybe as a tourist, maybe as a chain tourist, because people outside of Pulsechain, they are not ideologists. They do crypto, so they consider whatever they have to do, they do. And if it benefits their home platform and doesn't cost them anything, why not? There's a good chance from these price levels on PLS where we are that people have effectively a double, not only in PLS number, but how long should PLS stay down there, right? So at the end of the day, we know there will be inflow of funds. How long these people stay, whatever they find here on the chain, is up to our co-founders and builders. But what Neil just said is we are doing a lot of effort to strategically support the infrastructure as well, not only for the highest APR, what I said before, for our own yield production, but also into validation in the validation process. For example, supporting Vouch and others to say to make sure that Pulsechain has a very strong infrastructure with high volume, where people have a safe environment to navigate, so that to help becoming more competitive in the big market of things.
ISO 2022 tokens, huh? This ain't one of them.
No, we don't have a token, so that doesn't apply to us.
Yep. That is an XRP thing or a Stellar thing. If you want to go for that, go for it. But
I think kind of a, later on in the roadmap, as far as talking about like adoption to specific networks or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Like especially like Pulsechain, right? Obviously, providing a service tool like this for Pulsechain as the gas token, everybody has it. You kind of need it. It just makes sense. It's got the biggest liquidity pools, right? But let's say that we were, incentivized to try to bring in more network adoption from other networks. then why wouldn't we maybe potentially decide to take wrapped ETH and have it on Pulsechain, and then let the Ethereum guys know that they can't do that on their network, but they can come over here and do it with their ETH tokens over here, or wrapped BNB, or whatever network that we decide that we already have their token on Pulsechain, but they can come over here and they can play, right? That'll bring them. They already have.
What
the
about
token.
Bitcoin? Let's go to Bitcoin now. It works. Just throwing it out there. That's all.
I think we don't just. We got to take a lot of considerations into a lot of those things, like how much liquidity is there, because potentially we could be dealing with a lot of the tokens, right? So how much liquidity is there to be able to suffice for that particular token to do something like this with this type of mechanism for it? And how much yield opportunity does that particular token have on it as well, to bring in outside yield and generate yield? Because those things, great considerations into those types of things. It doesn't mean that it's not there's no potential at all, because into the future, who knows what things are developed that we will go, hey, now we've got more that we can work with here, right? That's a good thing with us, is that in our growing of our ecosystem, we can become extremely flexible on how we decide to adapt to the ever growing market as it is, besides the fact of how we can already progress the market with innovative new tech.
Let us do one step after another. We're very grounded here. I have a 5, 10, 15-year plan. We're considering many steps to take, many hurdles to overcome. But whatever token or coin we will choose to double will also preferably be done in a wrapped version on a chain like Pulsechain, where we have fast block time and low transaction fees. So if the throughput is enough that we can do it here on Pulsechain, so be it. If it turns out that Pulsechain by then will be much higher in its transaction fees, okay, so be it. But let's take one step after another, very careful. We are not dreaming here, but we are a team of very substantial, well-renowned, seasoned guys that are very, very, very careful with every step we take. So from the day of launch, we have 2 things to do. One, optimizing the stability of the system, that we have more possibilities or higher numbers, that we can serve higher numbers on the on our protocol. One is the width test that we just completed with 10,000 wallets for a couple of days, and also it's a depth test with 1,500 days down the road, that we can see how long is actually everything, are the fractal patterns repeating, not that we have suddenly an anomaly in the fractal pattern of happenings. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that we are setting up a control center, or not only setting up, it's already there, of active controllers who are monitoring who is attempting to enter our servers. We have a chain of servers for backup and for different operations, so that nothing is connected to each other. We need to scale up over time, but the principle is the same. We need to be untouchable for attacks or attempts from outside, because this is planned. It's basically mapped out to be a long-term endeavor and contribution to the market.
Awesome. Any last words? I think we pretty much got the stream on lockdown. Any last questions in the chat? I don't think so. I think, yeah. Any last words, guys?
Don't miss day 1. It's on February. Excuse me, not February.
It's
Friday.
December,
I don't know why I got February on my mind.
December 19th.
This Friday in the United States.
This Friday, yeah.
6 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 000 UTC.
Make your miners day 1. Yeah.
Fastest way to 2x. day one participation.
And if you're short term, don't compound, and if you're long term, compound or do a little bit of each. Where can they find you? I have a thing down below where you can find the Telegram, but I can also put it in the chat. But yeah, where can they find you guys?
Well, they can find me on YouTube, and as well as on the Telegram is at work4 crypto. I'm there. Deal for T-shares on you can search for me on the on X as well as YouTube. I have videos that explain all the stuff. I go over the UI, how all the UI works, all the steps it takes to interact with the protocol, and what you need to do to function and use all the different buttons and stuff on the UI, as well as strategies explaining what you might want to think about when you set your wallets up in your initial deposits for True2x.
All right.
You can find me in this scrolling marquee for the Telegram. I'll be in there. Or you can hit me up on Twitter X at ExecutionerWin. If you have any questions about all sorts of things, especially True2x, by all means, come on in.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. So if you have any questions, go on to Telegram. Yeah, with that said, I think we can end this thing. And yeah, get excited for launch on Friday.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we appreciate you having us on.
Yo, we launched in the fire, fork from ES gas hell, paper hands screaming, while diamond hands yell, meme coiners versus the Deegans, Twitter beefs lit like a fuse, leverage casinos rigged, nah bro, it's just the blues, one guy's dumping PLS at pennies crying, ghost chain alert, next one's hauling through the dip, posting this is the hurt that builds legend stars, voice is well bait, we survived the airdrop wars, now watch the real estate, bridges breaking, explorers glitching, RH where you at, community codes clashing, is chaos, but damn it's fat. This is the last shakeout. A storm raging, but we diamond handed out. Sell now, all regret. Now we're riding the wave. Pulsechain survivors from the grave. We crave that moonshot glory. No more paper hand route. Hex to PLSX. We stake it, we shout. The last shakeout. Crypto's Wild West, but we're the unbreakable scout. Yeah. E-take swung hard. Fraud claims flying like confetti, but April 25, boom, case drop, total confetti. Judge Ammon slammed the gavel, no jurisdiction, y'all lost. Hard tweets, crypto.